Hello again everyone. The Splitgate 2 alpha, the open alpha, is now officially over. I'm recording this on the 3rd of March, a couple hours after the test has finished. I wanted to give my overall thoughts, opinions on the current state of the game as a whole, as I did do an immediate reaction of first impressions, and now I want to do a video which is more in-depth, now that I've tried everything. I made sure to play as every single faction and max out the levels of that faction as well, forcing myself to play until level 25 to make sure I get, a good amount of playtime with each different faction, and I tried to use as many guns as possible. In fact, there was only 2 guns I didn't use, and I'm only just realizing this now. Both of the shotguns I did not use at all during the test. In fact, I don't think many people used them at all. I saw maybe a total of 3 to 5 people using shotguns out of the 200 plus people that I probably ran into as I played the test for like 20 hours. Anyway, let's dive in. So out of the 3 classes, we have Eros, Meridian and Sabrask. I think that still, as was with the first playtest, Eros' speed feeling similar to Splitgate 1 makes it still the go-to choice. Speed and the ability to use portals paired with map knowledge just seems like the way that I get the most kills. My highest kill games were more often than not using Eros. Pretty much all with the AR as well. I did max out the carbine, I did use it, it's pretty good comparative to the DMR from Halo Reach and things. But I'd say that my most used weapon in class is probably Eros AR, which is weird because in Splitgate 1, I think my most commonly used weapon would have been the carbine. What I didn't expect though is to enjoy Meridian so much. Previously, in the first test, it was all Eros. You were getting like 95% of your games were just a full team of 4-stack Eros. Now it is much more even across the board, and I even started to enjoy Meridian. It's a close second. In some cases I might have even preferred it depending on the map. The carbine for Meridian proved very powerful. It's a high fire rate and decent damage, so it's effective both long and medium distance, but close range feels a bit odd. Kind of like you're swinging a big metal bat around in front of you, trying to aim, and it proving very difficult. But that's not a bad thing, as it balances out the gun, so it's not effective at every single range. This is the kind of feeling that I had with the Halo 4 DMR as well. It kind of feels like that. It's a weird combination of like the Halo carbine plus the Halo DMR mixed together, with maybe like a little bit of the needle rifle mixed in there. It's kind of like all 3 of those just like jammed into one. But like the pairing that I enjoyed the most was playing on Eden with Meridian. And then for Eros, I would use on other maps such as Zenith and Ozone. I think it really depends on the map. However, Sabrask, obviously the 3rd class, I just think is not quite there yet. It's the clear avoidance compared to the other 2. The carbine for me is too slow of a fire rate. Yes, it's more powerful, but you can't kill an enemy if you're already dead because you were waiting for your weapon's fire rate to go back to reset so you can shoot again. Same goes for Sabrask's AR. Like, it's bigger, bulkier, deals more damage, it feels more powerful, but the fire rate is just too slow in comparison to other guns in the game, I think. I would bump up both of these weapons a little bit, not too much, maybe just like somewhere in the region of 10 to 15% fire rate increase on the carbine and the AR for Sabrask, and seeing how it plays and seeing if more people choose it. Out of all the games I played, if I go through the footage on my SSD, I have like 130 gig worth of footage. I can guarantee you Sabrask was the least picked character, and Eros and Meridian, were probably like somewhat even now. So the balancing of the 3 characters seems to have improved, but it's not quite there yet. I don't think they're all on an even playing field, but definitely an improvement over the first test. Next, I just wanted to touch on time to kill really quickly. It feels very fast. It feels somewhere in between Call of Duty and Halo, which doesn't sound like a bad thing on paper, because you don't want it to be as long as Halo, because Halo has shields and it's more of a slower and strategic game typically, at least the previous titles were. Obviously Infinite and Halo 5 are a bit more fast-paced. But it just feels odd sometimes in Splitgate, because it is, it's still a sci-fi shooter, you're in suits of armor, and when you're dying in like 3 shots, it does feel a little bit odd at times. I'm also not sure if the game has a headshot multiplayer. If there is one, it doesn't seem to be like that much of an importance. It seems non-existent. So if there isn't one, that would certainly help. I often found myself more often not going for body shots. Go for the chest rather than aiming for the head and risking missing a shot. So yeah, maybe headshot multipliers need to be turned up or even turned on if they don't exist. Because I just don't feel like there was any benefit to trying to aim for the head. Having said that though, I don't think it's in a terrible place. I think it's pretty good. Maybe just, again, time to kill being a little bit more, like again, another like 10 to 15%, something like that. And we're probably there in a good place. I did a quick browse of Reddit as well when the test ended, and I could see like somewhere in the region of 20 to 30 comments regarding the time to kill being pretty fast. So I think this is something that the majority of the players feel like it is too close to Call of Duty and needs to kind of sway more in the Halo direction. For the maps, like, they're all pretty solid. There's only one map that I don't like, which is pretty good going. Frontier is pretty good. I do feel like the bottom section of the map is a little odd. This is a map that was previously in the other tests, and I felt the same way then. Going bottom mid just feels like you're kind of trapped down there sometimes, and you have to go a long route out, rather than being able to, portal out or something really quickly. But the rest of the map is pretty good. It's hard to miss the mark when you're going for a symmetrical map, because they play the best in arena and class-based shooters all the time, and that one certainly plays well. Ozone was the fan favorite in the previous test. It's pretty much exactly the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Think there's like maybe 6 or 7 more portal walls or something on the map, which is good. And that's like probably the only change to it, I think. And it's still up there. I'd say it's probably, previously it was my favourite map, and now maybe second place. First now being Eden. That's my favourite, I think. It's the map that I always seem to get the most kills on, so that might create a bit of a bias. But for whatever reason, yeah, I got the most kills on Eden. I got a game where I got 75 on there, 66, I think I got another 60, tons of 40 pluses on there. Yeah, I think there's a lot of objects to hide behind, ways to get out of combat and recover, and then tackle back again. Nice balance between interior and exterior areas, good amount of portal walls, and again, it's a symmetrical map, so you can't go wrong. Zenith is solid. Nothing seems to have really changed besides, again, extra portal walls and maybe different weapon placements now that the sniper and the bat are added. And Bypass is pretty good too. No complaints regarding the map. I'd probably put that as like my third favourite maybe. So yeah, the only one I don't like is the big team map, Glacier. It runs like dog shit on my PC basically, and half of the map feels empty. Most of the action is smack bang in the middle where there's a bit of interior, and I think you can legit go to a corner of the map on the exterior and just sit there for the entire game and probably have zero interaction with other players. There was one game where I went to go and collect a few weapon, like supply drop things that fall down around the outskirts of a map, and I encountered like 0 players. It was just me on my own collecting the supply drops for like 100 seconds with no interaction from any other player. So I think the map is just like maybe a bit too big. Maybe it needs a couple structure changes, like yeah, maybe there needs to be some exterior places elsewhere rather than just in the middle. I like the aesthetic. I like the snowy environment and the ice. I always like that in arena shooter games. The fact you can slide really fast on the ice as well, the little paths of ice, is very cool. Makes for some cool shots if you can slide and then jump and, glide around. Makes the game feel like Tribes and Titanfall-esque vibes. Very fun. Saw tons of clips from Mint Blitz doing stuff like that. But the layout just doesn't do it for me. So, yeah. And finally, I guess, modes. Round-based still doesn't make sense to me for TDM. I can understand it for things like Firecracker, that's obviously inspired by Search and Destroy. That is fine, works. But TDM just makes no sense to me, having the score limit be up to 20. So, yeah, every other mode I can kind of get behind it now, but TDM still feels weird. So hopefully they change that, so TDM is a no breaks or something permanently. No break mode was very cool, by the way. I'd say that's probably my favorite. Like literally just reverting back to how it used to be. No round based modes. The no break mode was really fun, and I'm sad that I only got to play it for like 4 hours and then it disappeared. And in Firecracker, the defuse time is like 3 seconds or something. I think it needs increasing a bit to like 5 to closer match the bomb in Search and Destroy from COD. It just, yeah, incredibly fast, the defuse time. You can just hop on and defuse whenever you want. So, yeah. It's a good job that defusing doesn't end the round, though, I will say. That would be worse. If the defuse time is like 3 seconds, and you can just hop on and defuse and the round ends and you get a win for that, that would be worse. So I do kind of like the fact that defusing doesn't end it, because you still get another chance to, like, you know, approach it again, plant it, and have a second go at it. You know, you can like try and get a round of slays and plant, try and defend it again. So, yeah. But just defuse time, kind of fast. Sniper, incredibly fun to use. Bat, also incredibly fun to use. Enjoyed both of the weapons. I feel like I'm better with the Splitgate sniper than I am the Halo sniper. Don't know what it is, but it's just, yeah, more fun to use. Very easy to no-scope, I noticed. And I like the amount of damage it does. The Bat has a really good lunge. I think it's more of a lunge compared to the first game, which is appreciated. Yeah, I enjoyed them both. So I think power weapons are in a good place. Split stream, still great. I think that's what it's called. Either, is it split stream or... Yeah. And... Wait, is it slipstream or split stream? I don't know. Anyway, that weapon's nice. And then rockets are... Yeah, rockets are pretty good too. Like power weapons, weapon sounds, just game sounds in general. As I said in the previous video that I did, they all sound great. Most of the weapons regarding power weapons play well. There's only a couple weapons I don't like, which would be, yeah, Sabrask weapons and the shotguns for Meridian and Sabrask. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I felt like I was very good at the game. So, enjoyed it. I'm happy that the game seems to be like 6 months out, maybe earlier, but I think like basically confirmed that it's going to be in October, because the dev said it's not in November or December, so it's like, okay, well, it's either in October or you're going to like be like, hey, it's in September or something, you know, around that time, 5 or 6 months away, so we don't have to wait too long for full release. And they said that what we played was only half the game, which is nice to hear, because yeah, it has a decent amount of content for a beta, but for full release I don't think this would be enough, so I'm glad to hear that it's not even half of the game. Because, you know, like 6 maps and 6 modes or something, I think is what we were given in the beta. So yeah, if full release is like 12, 13 maps, that's a great place to be in. That's what games such as Halo Reach, Halo 3, Halo 2 used to release with. And yeah, like 10 to 15 modes is also a great place to release. I also noticed there's slots for more characters in the future. So yeah, I mean, it seems like this is all going pretty well. The only things that I have a gripe with are just a little bit of weapon balancing, a little bit of character balancing, and the performance. Hopefully they can optimize, because, yeah, as I said in the first video I did, the game ran like poo for me. I had to play on 720p, all low settings, and cap my FPS to 60. And I got an average of like probably 56 throughout my entire time playing. And my PC is well above the recommended specs for the game. So I think they just need to do some more optimization. If not, then you need to check the recommended specs you've put on Steam, because they are absolutely not correct. I tried running the game on a PC that used the recommended specs, and it ran like shit. It ran at like 24 FPS. Now, I guess that could be classed as playable, but come on. Not really. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Like, 95% of it is good. I know, like, this video is very nitpicky and probably sounds like a complaint about a lot of things, but really it's just feedback on stuff that I feel like needs to be tweaked. But the majority of it, like, you know, all maps besides one, brilliant. Really like them. The level design is great. The amount of portal wars on maps now feels great. The majority of the weapons feel nice to use. I like the sounds. It's fun. It just feels like Splitgate 1, but more polished with some tweaks here and there to try and reach a bit of a broader audience with the classes and the round-based modes, etc., which is obviously kind of like the fad right now, rather than arena. So, yeah, seems like they're doing things right. I'm excited for release. I definitely think I'm going to be playing it over Halo Infinite. Splitgate 2 will probably become my main game, and I am going to miss it for the next 6 months or so. So yeah. But I recorded 130 gigabytes of footage, so I think it'll be being used on the channel all the way up until the game releases. So yeah. Alright, thanks for watching this. A bit longer than I thought this was going to go on for. Yeah. Enjoyed it. It was fun. And can't wait for release. Alright, thanks for watching this video, and let me know what you thought of Splitgate 2 test in the comments if you played, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
A teammate is going for a capture. Help them out.